This is John Patrick Hickey. I want to welcome you to the video cast. Do you make lists? I do. I make lots of lists. I am a planner. I like to plan out things. That has its good points because I know what it is I need to do throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year. I make lists, I plan ahead, I set goals, I'm clear in the things that I do. Negative side to us planners is sometimes we plan so much we never actually do anything. And that's something I have to fight against all the time, is making these lists and feeling that my planning is somehow moving me forward. A plan without action is useless. All it is just wasting time. I might as well not even do it. I understand that. And therefore, when I make my list, I only make lists that are useful, things that I can put into action right away and get things done. But lists can be very helpful. David Allen, in his book Getting Things Done, talks about the importance of making lists. And one of the things he says, and I definitely believe it's been true with myself, is that a list helps free up your brain. It's kind of like when you got a lot of things to do, you try to remember what's coming up next. What do you have to do? Where do you have to be? But when you actually write these things down, then you can forget them because they're on your list. And you turn to your list and it gives you the direction and guidance. So you don't have a bunch of stuff floating around inside of your head. And I personally have found that extremely helpful in list making, is that it allows me to free my thinking up to do other things because I don't have to remember what's coming up because I have it written down. I understand that. Now, in making lists, I think that there's a few things that you can do to help you in this process to make a list a useful thing for you. And I personally suggest that you start off by making two lists. The first one would be a list for your month, that you do it at the beginning of the month or at the end of the previous month. And let me jump into something else here real quick, and because it's important when we're talking about getting these things done. You know, you can read books that'll tell you the first thing you do every day is you plan your day, and it has to be the first thing you do every day. You read other books that tell you the last thing you do at night is plan for the next day. Both things are important. My suggestion is you do what's best for you. We all are on different clocks. We are different people. I'm a morning person. I can get up in the morning and get things going. But even at that, I plan my day at the end of the day. Because that way when I get up, I have something in front of me and I can get going. I can get started. And that's what I like. That's what I'm comfortable with. Now, other people are evening people, and the last thing that they want to do is sit down and plan for the next morning because they could really care less about the next morning. But also in the morning, they're not going to have that drive to really get going. So sometimes it's best for them to do their list first thing in the morning because they can use that time to think, to rest, to get things going, to kind of prime the pump for the day, and get those plans made. So when I'm talking about times that are good for you to make the list, go by what's good for you personally in your time. I may refer to a lot of doing things in the evening or doing things in the morning. That's my schedule. It doesn't have to be your schedule. There is no right and wrong way to do it. The important thing is that you do it and you get these things organized. Okay, back to my list. The first one would be for the month, where you look at the month and you decide what needs to get done, or you look at your calendar. What appointments do you have? Where you're going to be? Do you have other things scheduled? Work around what you have and plan for that month. Then, every day, whether it is in the morning or it's in the evening, plan the day. Set priorities. What do you have to do today. The nice thing about making lists is that when I'm making a list, if I have a meeting on Tuesday and I'm making my list for Monday, I don't have to worry about that meeting on Tuesday. I don't have to think about it. It doesn't have to go on my list. I don't have to do anything with it because today's Monday. So I'm going to do what's on Monday. And there should be a couple areas you look at when you do a list. The first one is your priorities. What are the important things that you need to do? What are the top items that you need to do? Now, again, be cautious. Don't put down 7 top priority things that have to be done in the day. You're not going to do it. Never set yourself up for defeat. Never set yourself up to come in short. Look at the priorities. What is 1 or 2 major things that you have to accomplish today? And you may not finish a project, but you may not have to finish a project. You might have to just do one element of a project today. What are the top priorities that you do in order to continue to help you move through the month and accomplish the things that you have to do? Also, make a list of those things that need to get done today, but maybe don't have to get done. And the reason you do that is because you have that list that you go through and you fill. And when I accomplish something on my list, I check it off. And that, to me, is the most satisfying part of having a list, is that you can check it off. Matter of fact, I'll do things that weren't on my list, and I'll write them on my list just so I can check them off. Because you want to get those things squared away. You can look at it and say, this is what I've accomplished, this is what I've gotten done. And you can move forward from doing that. But also you want to have those things that you want to get done today, but if they don't get done, the world's not going to stop, because your day will always be interrupted. I can promise you, somewhere along the line, something's going to happen that you didn't plan for. And this gives you some flexibility in order to do it. Also, you want to plan for your whole day of what it is that you're going to do. Now, one of the things that I've learned back when I was pastoring, and I would have appointments with people who would come in for counseling or whatever it was they were coming in for, and people are people, and a lot of them were either notoriously late or they didn't show up at all. But I did not stop working at the time of an appointment. If someone came, I stopped. If they did not come, I continued to work. And if they were late, I worked until they got there. Those are the things that I did that I could interrupt, that weren't something that demanded all of my attention. So that if they were late, I wasn't wasting any time. I always had things that I was able to do. The last thing, and the most important thing on this list, is that you want to be able to stay committed. Do this every day. Make it a habit. Have your days planned. Have your days to where you can get things done that need to get done. Lists can be a wonderful tool. They can be extremely helpful. And I encourage you, learn how to use a list properly. And once you've done that, you'll find your day can be freed up in many, many ways. And of course, you also want to do your best. Love God, have good manners, discover the unknown, and change your world. We at the Growth Center are committed to helping you achieve your dreams and live a successful life. For more information on books and materials offered, visit our website at www.johnpatrickhickey.com. That's www.johnpatrickhickey.com.